Hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm Irish Ronan, and this is my top 10 list of games from the GMTK Game Jam 2023. Usually at this point I'd be showing my entry for the jam, but alas, my schedule didn't allow this. Fortunately, there were many entries for me to play from this jam. Which reminds me, I only played about 200 of the 6,848 entries. And these are the top 10 from that subset. Allow me to nerd out for a moment. Even if we assume that I correctly identified the 10 best games of the ones I played, statistically speaking, there's only about a 3% chance that that's the true top 10, which is not a comment on the quality of these games so much as an apology if I missed yours. But see this page that I'm still scrolling through? That's the submission page. My God. Anyway, let's real quick go over what I'm looking for in a Game Jam game. 1. Fun. If it's not fun, what's the point? 2. Creativity. I like new things. 3. Easy to learn, hard to master. There are like 7,000 games to get through. Let's keep it moving. 4. Polish. Time is tight. If you put together a game that looks, sounds, and plays great, that deserves props. Alright, let's jump into the list. Number 10 on the list is Bash the Crasher. Now, I should mention at this point that the theme of the jam was roles are reversed, so people took that lots of different ways. One of the very common ways they did was a game like this, where instead of playing as the player, you're playing as the dev, or the level designer, or however you want to put it. It's not an easy thing to do. You would think pretty straightforward, we've all built levels before, we know how to place things and all that, but to turn it into a game and actually have it be enjoyable is not as easy as you'd think. A lot of the games that tried to do this were messy, kind of confused, very difficult to understand the interface. Not so with this one. Bash the Crasher, it's very clear what the enemies do. They're very familiar enemy types. It's kind of like a thwomp, a little bit of a Goomba action. We understand what these enemies are going to do when we place them, and it's very easy to place them, right? You just drag and drop, that's it. The other thing that's nice about this, I like the art. I think it's cute, it's simple, it's very clear what everything is. So, A+ for being kind of best in class of the many games like this that I played. Number 9 from this jam is Anticure by Icxon. In this game, you are strategically deploying a zombie horde to try and infect every last human on the stage. So roles reversed, you're not the survivors, you're the zombies. Got it. This one made the list because of the very important lesson that it can teach. Simple graphics, but they're clear. Simple sounds, but they're informative. You know what a gunshot is. You know what a conversion from a regular person to a zombie is. It's simple gameplay, but it's fun. I played this game for a while, longer than I should have as I was trying to get through all the games that I was trying to play. But it's easy to forget that good gameplay is what really, really matters. Not all the bells and whistles that we have access to. It's a good, tight game that's fun to play. And yes, it's entirely rectangles, but even the best graphics in the world are just really small triangles. So good job, Icxon. You made a nice, clean game. Coming in at number 8, we have Quest Giver by Freetime Dev. This is another style of game that many people tried their hand at from this jam. Instead of being a hero receiving a quest from some NPC, you are the NPC. You are handing out quests to these various heroes. I really like the sprites, great art, clean interface, but it's surprisingly deep. I played for a while trying to, manage the HP and the hit points and everything for all 4 heroes, but it just was not meant to be. I had to pick my favorite hero and only care about their survival. Barry Sparkle Pants. Ride or die. I had to sacrifice the others, but what can you do? I can't keep all 4 of you alive, and really, that's on you guys, the players, for not defeating those enemies. Yeah, I'm just the quest giver. Lucky number 7, Maze Architect by ScriptMage. The object of this game is to delay the hero from reaching the chest in the bottom right. The longer he takes, the more gold you earn, the more gold you earn, the more boxes and towers and stuff you can buy, and the longer he'll take next time. This game makes the list because of the sheer amount of time I ended up playing it. I really enjoyed it. It was addictive because of the loop. And that's one of those things that's I'm still very much working on as a dev, is trying to figure out how to create a loop that is that engaging, right? This is not an overly complicated game, but every time the hero got to that chest, I couldn't help myself. I was like, well, I gotta spend this gold on something, probably gonna be a slow tower, maybe a push tower, we'll see. But I continuously felt like I can improve on the next iteration, and it kept me hooked. And as far as games go, that is nothing to laugh at. So, good job, ScriptMage. It was fun. I really enjoyed playing it, and you kept me from playing other people's games. So, that's on you. If your game's not on the list, it's ScriptMage's fault. Talk to them. The sixth spot on the list is Arrowhead by Eli Madi. Madi? Eli Madi has a nice phonetic sound. Anyway, this was kind of a common one, not as common in this jam, but instead of shooting projectiles, you yourself, the player, are the projectile. And this one was particularly well executed because of the cute graphics in part. I love that little spiral animation as he's flying through the air, kind of like a football, which is very fun to watch. Very nice ballistic trajectory. This one is all about the game feel, right? There's nothing crazy going on here, physics-wise or anything else, but it's very well tuned. You see the little, text when he hits the wall and he goes, ugh, he every time you land, you have to press a button to pick yourself back up. You gotta go mess around with all these floating arrows, and look how much I'm struggling with this level. Man, I should have picked a different clip. That's all right. It's a very fun game, and I enjoyed it a lot. You should give it a go. Numero 5, Stacked Warriors by Cherry Nugget Games. The object of this game is to beat up bad guys, as is the object of so many games. But what's cool about this one is they had a unique twist on the roles are reversed theme that I didn't see a lot, and it's a tag team situation, and so you're literally reversing the roles between two characters. One is carrying, the other is attacking. Accordingly, you have to manage the strength and stamina of those two characters. So the one on top, as they're attacking, burns strength. The one on the bottom, as they're running around, burns stamina. The big guy carrying the little girl moves faster, makes sense. The little girl carrying the big guy moves very slowly, etc. Certain enemies can only be destroyed by certain attacks. It's just a really well-balanced game. It's fun. There's a lot to keep track of in terms of, managing those different resources between the strength and stamina of the two characters. There's nice little pop-ups telling you, like, advance to the next area of the stage, or you're out of stamina, that kind of thing. It's a pretty complete game. It's simple, but it was built in 2 days, and it looks great, sounds great. It's a great game. Stacked Warriors. Give it a try. Just off the podium at number 4 is Princess Paladin by Wouter Van Vugt, which, what a name. I think we are going to do the rest of this one in German, with the German accent, yeah. I'm not going to do that. In this game, you're playing as the sidekick rather than the hero. Again, kind of a common theme throughout the jam, but this one is particularly well executed. I really like the kind of Paper Mario 2D flipping sprites. That adds a nice aesthetic. Speaking of aesthetics, it's great. Look at the columns being semi-transparent towards the top so you can see what's going on. All that kind of good detail. Good sounds, good music. And as you're playing, there's a lot to track. So the gameplay is very fun. You got to be paying attention to what the princess needs. You got to be paying attention to her health, your health, where the next health potion is, or the next weapon is, all that good stuff. Diverse enemy types. This is one of those where the only thing missing from this game is more game. The core is so solid that the expansion would be pretty straightforward. Some more enemies, maybe some more resources to try and manage, different weapon types, that kind of thing. But, like I say, the core is absolutely rock solid. The bronze medal goes to My Daily Decapitation by Bell Hat Games. Another common theme that we saw was instead of building a level, you're playing as the level, and that's the case here. You are this decapitated skull, and you can control these chains and hands and different sort of movement mechanics from within the level, but you can't control the skull directly. And this one is just, again, very well executed. It's got enough variety between the chains and the hands that launch your guy versus those little magnets that pull, and you kind of got to play kind of gravity games with them. It was just very fun. It was a little short, but that's because there's only 48 hours to produce the game. But it looks great. It sounds great. The gameplay is very intuitive, and there's a nice little touch of comedy with little cutscenes to cut off your head at the start. And when you beat the game, you get to see that. He got his head back. Alright, here's the decapitation. Bye. Number 2, the silver medal is Unexpeasant by Finite Reflection. In this one, you are playing as presumably a peasant who is stuck in a dungeon with all kinds of monsters and wizards and stuff like that. It's turn-based combat, except you can't combat. You have a shield on your back, which means you are perfectly invulnerable from behind. Any other angle, they can shoot you. Now, one of the really cool things about this, besides the unique gameplay, is it's fast. I cannot tell you how much I hate turn-based combat systems where you are just waiting and waiting and waiting. On some of these levels, I had, or I guess chambers, it's all kind of one big level. I had like 9 guys all trying to shoot at you, and it's still pretty quick. You get to move, get to move, get to move. That is such an excellent choice by the dev. It's fun though. The gameplay is addictive because it falls very much into that category of easy to learn, hard to master. I mean, it's just arrow keys. That's it. But there is a certain sense of, I could have done that more efficiently. And it makes you want to keep playing and try and get to those end zones more efficiently than you did the first time. It's a great game, looks great, sounds great. Give it a go. No top 10 list is complete without the honorable mentions. First up, Gunpowder Glide by Pebbles. This is another one where you are, as the player, the projectile. The only reason that this one didn't make the list is because it was a little bit buggy, and I think it needed a little bit more tuning, but it is very fun. You are placing mines in order to launch your character, who is a bullet, through the terrain and over obstacles and all that. It even has an awesome boss fight where you are in this huge arena trying to dodge these laser blasts. It's very good. Next up is Meet in the Middle by WhySoup. This is a pretty cool one. I like the clean black and white pixel art. Monochromatic is always a nice, good way to go if you can pull it off, and WhySoup absolutely can. In this game, you play as 2 separate characters, and you switch back and forth, or reverse the roles, and try to get them to meet in the middle of the level. The only thing I would say that would be more useful, and if they had some more time to develop the game, is if you could have one character's actions impact the other characters more directly, changing things on their side of the map, all that good stuff. But even as it stands, very fun game, couple of cool levels, give it a go. Next is Reheart by Chalng. Kind of a Sonic style platformer, scrolls left to right, right to left, which fries my brain just a little bit. But the gimmick here is you press the Z key and you summon that platform from the bottom, and that's how you could traverse the level. It is not super intuitive how to do this. However, once you get into the flow state and you're actually grooving with it, it's extremely fun, which to me counts for a lot. All right, next, Fire in the Mole by Guilhermo Silva. Rubber hose arm animation. Cool concept, role reversal, sure. Instead of whacking moles, you yourself are the mole trying to eat these fruit. Fun little game, well executed, beautiful to look at. Highly recommend. Okay, this one is on here because it's just awesome. It's Roomba Rampage by Anarchy Fox. It's hysterical. It's just fun to play. You're driving around as a Roomba who, let's for the purposes of narrative assume, is extremely disgruntled from cleaning up all our crap. Speaking of crap, I'm going to spread some on the floor right there. Yep. This Roomba does not clean. It instead makes a mess. Knocks over furniture. It can jump and dash and all that. It's ridiculous and just a lot of fun. And the big winner, gold medal, goes to Tower of Gold by Andrespv? Don't know. What I do know is this game is very fun. You play as a little devil kind of character who is trying to get that bag of gold up to the top of the tower. But gold is very heavy, so if you don't have any slack in your line and you try to jump, you don't jump very high. If you got plenty of slack, that's great, but it's swinging around freely down there below. So it's a fun little physics puzzler, not so much a puzzle as in terms of how do I get from A to B. It's more about perfect execution. So it can be a little punishing at times, but it is very fun. I like the sprite design. I like the idea in general, where you're trying to manage these two things and you have sort of very loose control over only one of them and tight control over the other. I played this game for quite a while. I did eventually beat it, but it took some time. Nonetheless, very, very fun, well-deserving. It's got good sound, it's got good graphics, it's got tight controls, everything. Yeah, that's the winner. It was a lot of fun. And that does it for the top 10 games from the GMTK Game Jam 2023. Except for the literally thousands of other games that I didn't play. But hey, maybe I can make another list. If you guys think I missed some gems out there, put a link in the comments and I will absolutely give them a go. In the meantime, if you liked this video, hit the like button. If you subscribed to this video, hit the subscribe button. If you dislike this video, they deleted that button. So I guess tweet it out, venture rage, I don't know. But until next time, this is Irish Ronin reminding you of the ultimate game loop in life: do, fail, learn, repeat. See you next time.